Hope Cook with Dermcast TV. Today we have Liz Otter. Liz is a physician assistant. She works with the Distance CME Committee, and she lives near Nashville, Tennessee. So we're excited to have you today, Liz.
Thank you for having me.
And I'd love to hear how you got involved with this committee. Did you start doing it when you were newly SDPA member, or did it take a while?
It took a while. I joined the SDPA when I started working in dermatology back in 2008, and it was about 9 years before I finally decided that I wanted to get involved and to give back to an organization that I really had gotten so much out of over the years. And like so many other volunteers that have come before me, I filled out the little slip of paper that was placed before me so that I could opt into volunteering. And then I was simply placed on a committee. And it turned out to be the Distance Education Committee. And so I did 1 year just as a volunteer on the committee, and about once a month we would sit in on a call, and we would just generate ideas as to what we wanted to learn about. What were some of our gaps, and what did we want to know more about. And so that just kind of snowballed into, I then had the opportunity to become the chair the next year, and then now I'm proud to say that I sit on the board and kind of oversee the committee now. So it's just kind of watching the evolution has been a lot of fun.
Well, walk me through, when you filled out the little slip of paper, did you have an interest in a particular committee, or did you have strengths that you wanted to use on your committee?
So at the time, they listed what the committees were, so that we could know what our options were, and then they just asked to pick 3 and perhaps rank them. I think, and so I'm sure I must have been drawn to that at the time, and so when I got the email and my designation,
you've been chosen.
I was chosen, and I think it's a great opportunity. In particular, over the last couple of years, with us having to pivot, to a lot of online education, I think people have kind of gotten used to that that's where they can go for their CME, and they like the convenience of it. It's fun to go to conferences, but that's not always feasible, or we may offer content that you haven't seen at a conference.
That's true.
So it's just another way to get good educational content out to members.
And I like knowing that PAs who are in clinical practice, in dermatology, in the organization, they're the ones helping plan all this. It's not outsourced.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That's where it's great to have PAs that are both young, maybe don't have a lot of experience, as well as PAs that have been in the game for a long time, because they're coming at it with different perspectives, and they can help kind of decide, what do we want to know more of? And I think it's important to have those different perspectives, because if you've been in the game for a while, you may forget, that some of that fundamental stuff is still really, important, and we need to reinforce it.
How did you, tell me about the relationships that you've developed while doing this committee and then later being a board member?
So that is something I didn't count on. I wanted to give back because I just felt that it was time in my career to give back, and I didn't really know exactly how that was going to look, but I just threw my hat in the ring, and have been absolutely pleasantly surprised. It's the community I didn't know I needed in my professional career. I think it's fostered a lot of amazing relationships. I now have friends and colleagues across the country, and I look forward to all these conferences where we get to meet up, and it's like old friends.
That's true. Well, how many hours a week or a month, or for PAs who are thinking about getting involved, but maybe they have a lot going on in their work lives, personal lives?
it probably took me 9 years to muster the courage to do it, because I think I was intimidated, thinking that it might be more than what I could handle. Being a full-time working PA, having a family and other things going on in my life. Just one more thing, right? It's less than you think. Realistically, most committees are going to be once a month for maybe an hour Zoom call. Some committees meet a little bit more frequently, some even a little less frequently, and then the hope is that most people can come to at least one conference and meet in person, but realistically, a couple few hours a month is all that is required, and it can make all the difference. It can make all the difference. It's important.
That's great.
Yeah.
I want to back up and hear your story. Did you start out in dermatology?
I did not. I started off in emergency medicine.
Really?
Prior to PA school, what I did to gain patient care hours prior to PA school was become an EMT. I was a basic tech, and I worked in an emergency department as a tech while I was doing prerequisites for PA school, and I just knew that's where I wanted to be, and that's what I did. I did that for 2 years out of PA school, but the transition to dermatology was pretty easy in that I had done a rotation in dermatology in PA school. We had 2 electives, and a wise mentor had recommended that I do dermatology, and I was like, dermatology? I'm not really sure. I don't really know that much about it. And she just said, everybody's got skin. Everybody can see their skin.
That's true.
And even if it's not the primary reason why they come to see you, whether you're in primary care, or emergency department, or whatever specialty you may be in, it's that door handle moment, where you might go out there and say, oh yeah, by the way, would you mind to look at this, or check out this rash. It's a good skill set to have, and so I said, okay, I'll take your advice and I'll do it. And then it just so happens that I had an incredible mentor, an incredible preceptor who was very passionate about medical dermatology and education, and it was infectious. And I really was surprised by how diverse dermatology could be, and that it really can be challenging, and you can always continue to grow in dermatology. Yeah.
So you've been in dermatology for 15 years?
14, yeah.
14.
Yeah, going on 15 years. That's right, yeah.
Is there any particular type of skin condition you love treating?
It's changed over the years. I really like to do medical dermatology. I like treating psoriasis and atopic dermatitis. I think that, and it's a really exciting time in dermatology to be treating those conditions with all the great tools that we have now. So that's fun. But I'm also, getting a little bit more comfortable in my own skin, doing small surgeries and even branching out into aesthetics. It's a career where you can continue to grow and evolve. And I think it just keeps it interesting.
That's true. Yeah. Do you have any words of advice as we finish up for PAs who are thinking about getting into dermatology?
I think that, I think one of the big things that I hear from students that I have, because I think there's a lot of interest, but the question is oftentimes, what can I do to get into dermatology? Because it's a very sought after specialty for PAs, and I don't think there's just one answer, but I just think follow your passion, continue to educate yourself, tap into the SDPA resources for education, and come to meetings and things, and make those connections, network, and stick with it.
Yeah. That's great advice. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
Hope Cook signing off for Dermcast TV.